Hello and welcome to the CGS Biblecast. So glad you joined me this morning. Back to our regular greeting today. Hey, would you let me know that you're watching? I do these every week, and sometimes I wonder who's watching. I do see some people are watching. Some of you are like first 5-minute watchers, and that's super impressive. You guys are the real ones. But let me know who you are, even if it's like my mom. Let me know. Thanks, Mom. Anyway, so has there been a time in your life when you choose to be better instead of bitter? There's a fine line there, and those sound like totally opposite things. But when you are actually in circumstances in your life where you go through trial and you are faced with these issues, it could go either way. But in life, you can go either way. So in today's reading, there's a lot happens. Battles are won and lost. Israel's first king and his son die. Both of his sons die. And David mourns his dearest friend Jonathan, as he is one of those sons that passes away. And also his greatest enemy, Saul. He actually mourns the loss of this guy who's just always trying to kill him. So let's look at it. Let's dig in here. We're in 2 Samuel now, so another book done. We're not going through every verse here, but hopefully you are on your own. It says this: David and his men tore their clothes in sorrow when they heard the news. They mourned and they wept and fasted all day for Saul and his son Jonathan, and for the Lord's army and the nation of Israel, because they had died by the sword that day. It was a terrible day. Let's just be honest here. It wasn't a good day. Saul's armies didn't make it very good, but also the nation of Israel is just a bad day. So when Saul was anointed to be king, he was very humble, bashful, really, honestly. And when he took the throne, it was kind of like an all shucks, I guess I'll do it if God's calling me. I don't know why he chose me, but once power set in, he got real used to being in power. And when David came along, he was kind of a challenger, really. He was very jealous of David. And so when David saw success, he had this choice. Am I going to be better or am I going to be bitter? David did not go down the same path as Saul. Saul chose to be bitter. David chose the opposite. For Saul, he had made David's life miserable, causing him to flee and hide in caves and fearing for his life. We talked about this over and over again the last few days. But in the end, David didn't celebrate the death of his unhinged, crazy, lunatic successor, or he didn't come to this great joy when he got to choose to, take the throne. So what was his response? He mourned. Through it all, David allowed himself to become better instead of bitter. So how is this possible? How do you when someone is in charge of you and they're terrible, and when they get fired and they get called out by their boss, how do we not just go into like being super happy about that? It's like that's just what naturally we want to do. How does he become better instead of bitter? How is this possible? His ability to discern the correct response came from his amazing confidence and trust in God's almighty power to work things out for good. Once again, it comes back to that word trust. Oftentimes we face circumstances that don't turn out the way we hope. That is life, folks, and I hate to just be super blunt here, but that's just life. How we respond to such situations is a choice. Maybe you've been mistreated in the past or felt like walls are pressing in on you from all sides, causing bitterness to swell up in your heart. In such moments, remember God works through all things for our good and His glory. Choose to grow from that experience and decide to go after better things and not just bitter things. Because honestly, when we go bitter, there's just not any way for that to work out for us for good. God, when we trust Him, He, though, can make terrible things in our life work out for the better. So just trust him and choose better. Have a wonderful day.